Where are your solutions? You offer no solutions. What do you think that people need to do in order to make a difference? That's a question that I get all the time, whether it's on YouTube or when I'm talking to my friends about this stuff. In my personal opinion, people need to do two general things to make significant change. We need people that are working towards stopping or slowing down the harm that's being done. And we need people that are finding new cultural space, finding new ways of living that are different from this culture of maximum harm. Both of these general movements are going to be very different for different people in different situations and different locations. The most important thing is that people realize that it can't be a movement that's defined by universal rules or universal goals. People need to relearn how to communicate with their human and non-human communities and find out what those specific communities need from them. Those specific needs would define the rules and goals of that local movement to slow and stop the harm. And those same needs would set the rules that will define the general cultural model that people would need to follow in order to live a healthy and sustainable life in that community. I think it's crucial that both of these movements happen, and that there's support for both of these movements, from both of these movements, and when and wherever it's possible, they interweave and interconnect. There's no reason that you can't take part in both of these movements in various degrees. I'm working on a song right now. It's a collaboration with my homie BootMe21, and hopefully will be a video collaboration with Penniless Cripple. And some of the lyrics go like this. Some walked away while some began to fight. You see, it wouldn't have worked if it was only fighting. And if nobody fought, those that walked would find a very frightening end to their journey. You cannot heal a burn if nobody stops the burning. And you can't avoid a cliff if nobody starts turning. So that's my answer for what I think people need to do to make a difference, to save the world. And I think it's only right that I give an example of what's happening in my specific community. What kind of movements are going on in my community. Right now the oil companies are trying to convince us and buy support for drilling off our coast. So right now there's a movement to stop this from happening, stop this rape from happening, because the people in this community are aware that it's going to have negative effects on the wildlife here. And by stopping it, it benefits us because it protects the subsistence way of life that people have here, which means that we don't have to rely as much on shopping at the grocery store and importing our food. And that has a positive effect on the problem that the whole world is facing, because we would have to rely less on the exploitation of other lands and other peoples in order to get the food that we need. So that's an example of making the movement local, by finding out what it is that your human and non-human community needs from you and making that happen. Doing what you can to fulfill those needs. And the same example works as an example for the second general movement, because the people here are finding ways of living that's different from the culture of maximum harm. The subsistence lifestyle is a huge part of the culture here, and the culture respects the land, respects the animals. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts. One love, respect. I'm out.
Manipulating people with them confusion system. They wake up and study pure evil to capture the people. But I'm burning out pollution and them devilment solution. Them a burn bad lamp every day. Dirty Babylonian. Babylonian.